In Gadsden, Arizona, when the clock strikes 3 in the afternoon, time isn't just a number, it's a sentence. The sun hangs in the sky like a white-hot coal, burning everything until even the sins are bleached white. Down here, the heat doesn't just bake the earth, it seeps into your bones, slows your thoughts, and makes you question every decision you've ever made. For 20 years, I've been breathing this dust, patrolling these same cracked asphalt roads that shimmer and warp in the heat, turning the horizon into a watery mirage. They say these roads have a memory, but I think the desert is just built for forgetting. The wind blows, the dunes shift, and by morning, the silence buries everything. It's a convenient place for secrets to die. My name is Wyatt, Deputy Wyatt. This tan uniform has been a second skin for 2 decades, soaked through with sweat and the weight of things I've seen, and things I've chosen not to see. The old-timers, the ones who were here long before the highways cut through this land, they say the desert has a soul. They say it watches. I don't know about all that, but I do know it has a sound. A constant, high-pitched buzz of cicadas, a symphony of survival in 110-degree heat. It's the soundtrack to my life, punctuated by the low, rhythmic chug of my old V8 engine and the dry wind whistling through the cracked windows of my patrol car. A sudden, sharp crackle from the radio cuts through the haze. A cold, authoritative voice, Sheriff Miller's voice, comes through. Wyatt, Route 12. Reports of shots fired. Probably just coyotes. Don't rush it. Just coyotes. The official explanation for anything that doesn't fit the peaceful narrative our town likes to sell. Miller and I, we came up together. But somewhere along the line, our paths diverged. He started seeing the world in shades of gray, then in dollar signs. I stayed stuck in black and white, a relic from another time. My sheriff says the desert is a graveyard for secrets. He says if the vultures don't find it, the sand will. He's right about the graveyard part, but he's wrong about the law. The law doesn't end where the pavement stops. In fact, out here, where there are no witnesses, is where it matters most. I turn off the main road, the tires of the patrol car crunching over the heavy gravel, kicking up a plume of dust that hangs in the still air. The report said Route 12, but my gut tells me to check the old dry riverbed. It's a place kids go to feel invisible, to do things they shouldn't. As I crest the ridge, I see it. A luxury black pickup truck, gleaming even under a coat of dust, sits in the middle of the wash. And standing beside it, holding a rifle like a toy, is little Billy, the town's golden boy. His father, a man whose name is on half the buildings in the county, owns everything worth owning, including, some say, the sheriff's soul. And huddled in the dirt near the truck is a man, wounded, clutching his leg. My heart sinks. Not just because of the scene in front of me, but because I've seen this before. 20 years ago, almost to the day. A different boy, just as rich, just as arrogant. A different victim, just as helpless. And a young deputy, me, who stood by and said nothing. I let a powerful man's phone call make my decision for me. I swallowed the lie, turned my car around, and drove away. That silence, that single act of cowardice, has been a poison, seeping into my soul ever since. It's the ghost that rides shotgun with me on every patrol. As if on cue, the radio crackles again. It's the sheriff. Wyatt, I talked to Billy's father. The boy is home. You're seeing ghosts. Turn around. That's in order. Seeing ghosts. He has no idea how right he is. I look from the radio to the scene in front of me. The wounded man, Billy with the rifle, the vast, indifferent desert stretching out around us. This is it. This is the moment. The crossroads I've been driving toward for 20 years. I reach over and with a decisive click, I switch the radio off. The sudden silence is deafening, broken only by the ticking of the cooling engine and the hum of the cicadas. I get out of the car. The heat hits me like a physical blow. Each step feels heavy, deliberate. The leather of my duty belt creaks with a familiar rhythm. Billy. My voice is a dry, gravelly rasp, shaped by years of dust and regret. He looks up surprised, a flicker of fear in his eyes before the familiar arrogance takes over. Put the rifle in the bed, I say, my voice steady, level. Your father's money can't buy a breeze in this heat, and it sure as hell can't buy me. I keep walking toward him, my hand resting on the cool, worn metal of my handcuffs. I'm not just walking toward a rich kid with a gun. I'm walking toward the ghost of that young deputy I used to be. I'm walking toward the truth I buried 2 decades ago. The heavy, metallic clack-click of the handcuffs being unholstered is loud in the quiet canyon. It's the sound of a choice being made. The cuffs snap shut around Billy's wrists, a final, echoing sound that seems to travel for miles. He starts to protest, to say my name, to mention his father, but the words die on his lips. He sees something in my eyes he's never seen before. I spent 2 decades looking the other way. I tell him, my voice low. Today, I'm finally looking at the truth. I lead him to the patrol car, the wounded man already being tended to by the paramedics I called on a different channel. As I get in and shut the door, I glance in the rearview mirror. The face looking back at me is tired, older, etched with the lines of a hard life. But for the first time in years, the reflection shows a man who isn't a ghost. The law doesn't care about your speed, Billy, I say, putting the car in gear. Only your direction. And tonight, we're all heading toward the light. The engine roars to life, a sustained sound of purpose that cuts through the desert night. As we drive away, a tiny speck of light disappearing into the vast, dark horizon, I know one thing for sure. The road never forgets, and neither do I.